Alright, here we're going to be making cornbread today. We have 10 cups of coarsely ground yellow cornmeal, and I don't know exactly how it's translated, but here it is harina de maíz pero con papas, ¿no? Eso. Okay, so cornmeal, 10 cups of that. Then we have 5 teaspoons of kosher salt, which we have 5 teaspoons of baking soda, which will be this. 10 teaspoons of baking powder. It actually has the translation on the box. How do you like that? 5 eggs we're going to be using. We're going to whisk them and take them out of their shell. And we have 20 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We're going to melt it and then cool it. And then 7.5 cups, we're going to take them out of their smaller containers of plain yogurt. And lastly, we're going to be using 20 tablespoons of honey, and later honey to be able to dip the cornbread in. Okay, we are going to first preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, but since we are in Spain, that's approximately 200 degrees Celsius. So we're going to, it's already set, we have it set to 200 Celsius, and we're going to turn it, we're going to be cooking for 30 minutes. So I'm turning the time dial to 30 minutes. Okay, now usually in the United States we cook cornbread with a cast iron skillet, but since we're cooking for many people here today, we're going to use 2 large pans, and we need to first grease the pans with butter. So we're going to take some of this butter and we're going to lightly grease the pan. Okay, so now we have to mix, essentially you would call them the wet ingredients together, and we're going to mix in a different bowl the dry ingredients. So first, because they didn't sell yogurt in large containers, I had to get many different small containers, so now we're getting them all out of each packet, putting them together, and then we're going to mix the honey, let's see what else, in the butter together. And then the other one, we're going to do mostly the cornmeal. Okay, so now we're going to add in the 5 eggs. I haven't broken eggs like this in a while, so let's see if it works. Okay, there goes 1. Let's see, 2. I'm going to try and not get any of the shell in there. Hopefully I can do a good enough job. Now to make the mixing easier of the wet ingredients, we are going to melt our butter here. So I'm going to put it in the microwave. Set it for 1 minute. Okay, so now we're going to add the honey. It's local Asturian honey. And then we also have the melted butter, which we're going to add afterwards. So 20 tablespoons of honey first. So here we're going to go. It's kind of firm, so hopefully it comes out pretty well. So it's kind of viscous. So we'll see if it comes out. Oh, thank you. We have Nella here, the master behind the scenes, helping me out. Okay, so now we're going to add the butter after we've added the honey. So, whoa, a little too fast there. And that's about enough, I'd say. And so now we're going to take the whisk, and we're going to whisk it all together. It's kind of thick at first, so we're going to take it kind of slow. I don't want it to overspill. So since there is no cornmeal in this country, we're adding this special type of corn flour. We're going to add 1,000 grams of it, which is approximately 12 cups. Well, if we were only adding this, but we're also going to mix this maicena as well, which you'll see in a moment. This side. Okay. Let's see, a little bit. No, that's about 500. So 500 once. Okay, then we're going to do one more time. More. Let's see how this goes. That's about 500 as well. And that's it for that. Now we're going to add the maicena, which we need to talk with Nella about. So now we're going to mix this other type of corn flour known by the name brand maicena. We're going to add 13 tablespoons of it. So let's see. So that's going to be 1. This is white corn flour. So 1 and 2. Okay, now we're going to add the baking soda. Here we're going to have 5 teaspoons of it. So let's see, a little bit more on this. We're going to add, now we're going to add 20 teaspoons, I believe. No, 10 teaspoons of baking powder. All this conversion is getting me confused. So 10 teaspoons of baking powder. So they come in packets. So we're going to open them up here. Let's see. There's one packet. There's the second packet. And the third. And now I'm moving a little bit quicker after learning from Nela. Okay. Okay, now we're going to add 5 teaspoons of salt just to top it off, and then we're going to mix it all together after this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to be mixing the dry ingredients together before we put the wet ingredients in, so we're just going to mix all this. Remember, this was the baking powder, the baking soda, the cornmeal / corn flour, and the salt. So we're just trying to get this all well integrated. So now we're going to mix the wet ingredients together before we mix it all together. Nela taught me to put the whisker at the bottom of the pan so that it doesn't fly everywhere, because I was in danger of putting everything on the table before. So we're going to get this nice and... Why need a machine when we have the master Nela? Just put her to work and she's amazing.
Lo hace él.
No, you can. Okay, now that everything has been mixed together, we're going to add it all evenly between the two pans. So it's kind of thick again. So I'm going to try and kind of divvy it out equally between the two here. So now we're going to even out the flour mixture, well, cornmeal mixture I should say. So we're going to Okay, so now we're going to add the mixtures in, approximately this amount. Oh, almost slip and slide there. Let's see, I've got to add it this way. Approximately it will be we're making it for 32 people, but we made a little bit extra because we want Montse's class to be able to try it as well. So, and then we're going to close it and let it go. Oh, a little too hard. For 20 to 30. Pero tienes que probarlo.